there. Hope you're having a great day. We are going to take Psalm 19 today with no extras, no other tools besides the book. All right, and there's several different ways that you can use any of these psalms, but today Psalm 19 we are going to be using for receiving blessings. So we're receiving special extra blessings. So think of some areas in your life maybe that could use a little or a lot of blessings, and we'll see if we can turn some of that stuff around for you, okay? So Psalm 19, we read through it once as an incantation without stopping, then we go back through and we do the actual magical operation of planting those seeds into our deep mind so that we can reap the rewards and results from it. It's a practical, magical operation. This is not a religious reading of the psalm. It's a magical reading of the psalm. So think about what it is that your goal is, that you want those blessings for, and we will direct this energy specifically to that goal or to that area of your life. All right, here we go. Psalm 19. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover by them is thy servant warned, and in keeping of them there is great reward. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and then I shall be innocent from the great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. And it's just a lovely, beautiful, and very popular, famous psalm. All right, so let's go through this, Psalm 19. The heavens declare the glory of God. Okay, so the heavens, the ancients, felt like there was a dome above the earth, and they didn't understand what the heavens were, but the heavens to us still represent what they represented back then, meaning that which is perfect, that which is the dwelling place of divine ideas, that which is the pinnacle of the place where there is only perfect love, perfect truth, perfect trust, infinite life, infinite intelligence. All right, and so the heavens declare the glory of God, and the glory is kind of like the aura of God. The glory of God means that which is the life force itself, that which glows. And the firmament showeth his handiwork, and the firmament is that dome of the ancients, but the firmament represents perfect faith, perfect unwavering faith, and it showeth his handiwork. So all you have to do is look to that which is miraculous in the world, and you can see, just the birds and the oceans and the sun and the way everything works. Everything is just the way everything in life works is so perfect, especially when we don't try to go mess it up. And that showeth the handiwork of the Lord, which is infinite intelligence. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. So the speech that the day uttereth, and the knowledge that night showeth, when we're awake and we are our objective mind is a conversant mind. It is the daytime. The day is that which we can see and that which is objective, whereas night is that which is subjective and that which is connected to infinite intelligence. That's why when we're asleep, our deep mind is in charge, and when we're awake, our surface mind is in charge. So speech and knowledge are what we are the constant marriage, if you will, between the God and the goddess inside of us, the masculine and the feminine inside of us. There is no speech in our language where their voice is not heard. All right, so the divine two parts of ourselves, day and night, God and goddess, mother and father, there's no speech or language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. So the day and the night within us, it goes out throughout every part of our physical universe, every part of our manifest world. And the way that their language with one another, the way that the conscious and the subconscious mind speak to one another, go out to the end of the world. That means there is nothing in your world that is not a product of the interaction between the masculine and feminine within you. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. Now that's a very magical thing to think about, isn't it? In the great right between the masculine and feminine parts of our mind is a tabernacle for the sun. That means the source of all life is worshipped within the marriage, that divine marriage that exists within every single person, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. And again, with the idea of the bridegroom is a similar concept of what we've been talking about with the marriage of the masculine and feminine within us. Rejoicing as a strong man to run a race. So that means that there is great strength. There is great certainty of a beautiful future within this tabernacle for the sun, that is a result of that perfect marriage, that perfect understanding of day and night between the two aspects of our being, the masculine and feminine within us, conscious and deep mind. His going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. It means there is the end of heaven, the circuit into the ends of heaven. There's nothing hid from the heat of the sun. Again, we're talking about the tabernacle of the sun here. There is a spiritual sun as well as a physical sun. And the spiritual sun, we would say that God looks through the face of the sun, or that the physical sun is actually a disk of light that hides the face of God. And so there is nothing that's hid from the heat of the sun, and therefore there is nothing that's hid from the light of God in our lives. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. Okay, so the law of the Lord is perfect. Again, the basic law of the Lord is that of cause and effect, and it converts the soul. When we allow the light of the sun to be the spiritual sun, the true spiritual sun, to be the causative agent in our lives, then it converts the soul, meaning that we are in contact with the highest possible thoughts that are available to us at any time, and we are asking that those thoughts be dispensed, just like sunbeams, into our minds, so that the effects of our lives then reflect those high thoughts, and those are the blessings that we're asking for. And so the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The testimony of the Lord, again, that how the Lord would testify about you is everything that would make wise, everything that would make you more and more aware of your oneness, more and more aware of your goodness, more and more aware of the perfection that you were created to be. God looks at you and understands you as you are much better than you understand who you are. So we want God to judge us. We want God to make that testimony, because God only knows the truth of who we are, and the truth of us is awesome and fabulous, because that's how we were created. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. So we are asking for God's statutes. We are asking for God's commandments. We are asking for God, which is, again, not a deity separate and distinct from us. It is the principle of infinite intelligence, and we want that infinite intelligence, that infinite love, that infinite joy to be the statutes and the commandments from the Lord that will seek through and enlighten the eyes and rejoice the heart, because it's going to show us the truth about who we are. And when we realize the truth of who we are, and we realize that the lies about who we are that we've been carrying around with us are not true, and that they can be dispensed of, we have nothing but rejoicing in our heart and nothing but enlightening in our eyes. We see the world in a whole new way. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever, meaning that to respect God, to have reverence for God, in the same way that we would have reverence for anything like electricity or chemistry or any of that, but even more so, that's pure, that's clean, that cleanses our soul, because we recognize that there is nothing to thwart the power of God, and therefore we want nothing but the power of God going through us, and we are not going to resist that any longer. We are not going to say no to that. We are going to allow God's judgment. We're going to allow ourselves to respect that in God. And it endures forever. There is no time, there is no space, there is no distance. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. You want God's judgment. You want God to judge you, because God's judgment is righteous. And God created you perfect. God did not create junk, and therefore God loves you just the way you are. Anything that you are trying to do in your life to prove that you are less than is a lie, and God's truth will burn away that lie, so that you can awaken to the fact that you are, and you have always been, and you remain just the way God created you. And that's where your safety lies, and that's where your success is, and that's where your blessings are. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. There's nothing in this world, even the very, very, very best parts of this physical world, that can compare to God's judgment about you. You want God's judgment about you, because God knows you more than you know yourself at this moment, and we want those judgments, and they are worth more than anything in the world. And not only that, but they give you all the things in the world which are so valuable, so that you can enjoy them, because God wants you to enjoy your life. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and in keeping of them is their great reward. So this is speaking to you of your intuition. So God's gonna warn you. It's gonna guide you. It's gonna say, don't do that, do this, don't do that, do this, and then you will live more intuitively. And that magic path of intuition is a much better place to live, because then you go from success to success rather than trying to figure everything out on your own. And in keeping of them, there is great reward. So when you keep God's statutes, when you keep all of that, what we were talking about, the statutes, the commandments, the fear of the Lord, meaning the respect of those things, there is great reward. That's where all your rewards come from. So if you're not getting the rewards you want, then you need to get back on that beam where you're allowing the judgment of God to reinterpret your life for you, because I guarantee you He's going to say, whoa, you have it a lot better than you think you do. Let me show you where that is. Who can understand His errors? That's a rhetorical question. There is no error in God. So meaning that who are you to say that God's wrong, right? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. So our errors is what we want to be cleansed of. God has no errors. Therefore, God can cleanse us from our secret faults. That's stuff that we don't even know what's wrong with us. And what the cool thing about that is we don't even have to know once they're gone. Once they're gone, who cares? I mean, if you go into a surgeon and they take out a growth and you're all better, you don't need to go look at the growth. You just know that it's gone. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. So please let me stay on the beam. Don't let me start thinking for myself, because arrogance is, I'm not good enough. Arrogance is, there's something wrong with me. Arrogance is that I don't have enough in this world to get by. Arrogance is that I'm not blessed. Arrogance is all of those things, and that also about yourself and also about other people. When you're not seeing yourself the way God sees you, that means that you're being arrogant. And so that's a presumptuous sin. Let them not have dominion over me. Let my sins have dominion over me. Then I shall be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. The great transgression is simply the idea that you're separate from your Creator. That there is something greater than oneness out there. That somehow you can overcome perfect love. That you're so powerful that you can overpower perfect love and become less than loving. Okay, so you'll be innocent from all that stuff by allowing yourself to be taught by infinite intelligence the truth about who you are, and not being so arrogant and presumptuous, thinking that you're not so great. It's all backwards, isn't it? So the way we think of arrogance and humility is really upside down. It's not arrogant to say, I'm a child of God. I am perfect in God's eyes. I was put here to do great things. I was here to be successful and prosperous and happy and contribute to the well-being of everybody that I meet. That's not arrogant, that's humble, because you didn't create that for yourself. You were created to be that. So let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. So we're asking that our thoughts and our emotions and our intentions and the words that we speak be guided by infinite intelligence, that we're not going to start talking about stuff that we no longer want to have in our lives. We're not going to be complaining so much, or ever. Watch how many times you bitch and moan about stuff. You're going to stop that and think about what the meditation of your heart is. Are you constantly worried about this and worried about that? Well, it's not going to make it worse for you to start speaking in better terms and thinking of what you do want rather than what you don't want. It's not going to make it worse, I promise you. Now, according to the Psalm, it's going to be quite good. You're going to receive infinite blessings if you let the words of your mouth and the meditation of your heart be acceptable in the sight of God, meaning in line with perfect love and perfect infinite intelligence. O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. So the strength in you, and that which redeems you, that which calls you back out of the darkness so that you're redeemed back into who you really were created to be. That is what infinite intelligence is. That's what perfect love is. And those are forces that are deep within you, you are to God as a sunbeam is to the sun. You're not separate. You can't separate a sunbeam from the sun. Therefore, you can't be separate from God. But the sunbeam is not the source of the sun. It is the effect of the sun. But it is of the sun. It is of the same fabric of the sun, and it has the power of the sun in it. Same with you. You have the power of God, and you are of God. You are a child of God. That's why the Psalms say ye are gods, because you know, just like a horse doesn't give birth to a wasp, God doesn't create something other than gods. So you are a child of God, meaning you are of God. You are a godly being. And remembering that is your strength and your redeeming and your redemption. All right? So let's work on this one and see what kind of great blessings you can manifest in your life. I can't wait to hear about all your successes. Until next time, blessed be.